Hi, I'm Melanie McDonald, and I would love to help you collect the money owed to your company. If after watching this video you'd like to work with me directly, you can contact me through my website at strategicreceivables.com. Today, I'm going to talk about collecting in person and why I recommend this as a tactic. Uh, First of all, I'm assuming you're collecting large sums of money. Large meaning you're not going to make visits to a company if they owe you $100. We're not doing that. I'm talking about a company that you have either a monthly contract with or you do contracted work and you're at least in the tens of thousands of dollars or maybe more. These are customers who you're going to build long-term relationships with, and so it's important to not be aggravating to them, but instead to have a problem-solving attitude and to have a customer service attitude. So if you're a company that has a lot of very, very small customers, then your receivables issue is something completely different. That's not what I'm talking about in my series. Sorry. I'm talking about service companies, say electrical companies, plumbing companies, other trades, where you have, let's say, property management firms you do business with, or again, larger organizations where the bill starts to run up very, very quickly, where you've already paid your people and you really need that money. And this is some money that's significant for your organization. Now, a property management company might feel like your bill of $30,000 or $50,000 is a little nothing for them. That's fine, but it's something to you, and that's what we're gonna talk about and why we're gonna make in-person visits. So the in-person visit really ups the ante. Why do I say that? Well, imagine you put yourself in the property management's place, property manager's point of view. They get calls and emails all day long, and calls go to voicemail, emails sit in the inbox. There's no urgency there, despite emails attempt to say urgent and mark all that and whatever. But when you're sitting across from someone, that's a person-to-person connection. And you're looking at them, and they're looking at you, and you're asking them questions. You're working on your relationship with them, which I've talked about in other videos. I'm going to keep talking about that. It's going to be very hard for them, if you're doing a good job, to not pay you. And in fact, what I've experienced is they're more likely to explain and to share with you problems they're having internally in their own company. So let's go through a likely scenario of that in-person visit. Well, first of all, you've got to make the appointment, right? And they're going to say, well, what is this about? I'm very busy. I don't have time. You know what? We haven't sat down together in maybe many months. I don't know. I'd really like to hear how we're doing. And I find that an in-phone or email is just too impersonal. And so I am currently this year planning to see, a third of my customers, or whatever the number is, 10% of my customers, because I find that this keeps me in touch with my customers, which are so important at the success of my business. So it's really, really important that I see you, and I can keep my time to half an hour, or whatever. If taking them to lunch would work, of course, that would be better, but maybe you can't do that. Maybe they can't do that. Don't know what the rules are. So you can think about what you're going to say ahead of time and plan something where they really can't say no. I mean, a customer could say, I'm just not going to see you. Okay. But I'm going to put that aside for now because I think that's pretty extreme. Most customers I have had some that say I'm not going to see you, but most customers I've had will agree to see me, especially if I say to them, look, I can limit my time. We'll have a timer on my phone, and 30 minutes I'll be out. But make sure before you go see the customer that you have your strategy, you've got your questions. So it's really about building that relationship with them. How are things going? How can we do better? What worked for you? What didn't work for you? And then the follow-up with the invoicing question. Now, you can feel, and if you're not such a feeling person, you can think, and you can put yourself in that person's position again. This person took the time to come see me. This person took the time to leave their work to ask me questions, and also they followed up on the invoice, but that was really brought up at the end. That was not the tenor of the whole conversation. They showed they really cared, because when you go and visit a customer, you do really care. So that in-person visit is at a completely different level. Now, you can use the in-person visit to solve other problems too, aside from getting money. I've used in-person visits to solve all kinds of business mysteries. Okay, what's happening with this customer? Why does XYZ keep happening? You're not going to find out a really tough problem often by the phone or the email. You're just not. But again, when you sit across from that person and you're asked legitimate, caring questions, they will open up to you and tell you what their real problems are. So be prepared. You may hear things you don't want to hear. Naturally, in business, we often hear things we don't want to hear. But it's for the best. It gives you a chance to work on it. Look, if they've agreed to meet with you, that's a good sign they're willing to work on it. So let me go back to the ones who aren't willing to meet with you. That's not a good sign. That often really means they have no interest in even continuing the relationship. They're so mad. So I would be concerned if your customers don't want to meet with you. And again, why don't you then take a step back and say to yourself, well, maybe they don't want to meet with me, but maybe there's someone else in the company they would meet with. Or maybe you could even say, you know, I'm concerned that you don't want to meet with me. Can I just have 5 minutes? And then I would plan like a customer save strategy and go in there with my best customer save strategy for 5 minutes. Forget the invoice right now, because that's just so concerning if they don't want to meet with you at all. It's different if they say, I've got a big presentation, the next couple of weeks doesn't work. Okay, fair. But if you're really getting a stonewall, that's, you know, alarm. You may have to pull all the stops to even save that work. So that's sort of the extreme of a person not wanting to meet with you at all. Now, I have had some customers who are very introverted who say, I just don't meet with my vendors. I've got too much to do, fine. Those folks, again, usually if I say it's only going to be 10 minutes, I'm really going to be appreciative. For my board, you just bring your board into it, or whoever you can make up who you're reporting to, so they don't feel pressured by you. In other words, they may feel like, well, I'm just a little nobody. Why is this person wanting to come see me? I don't have time for all this. You may be speaking at too low a level of a person. If that's what they're coming from, you may think about who you need to be really meeting with. But on the other hand, if you can put it where you've been tasked with this, other people can understand, oh, I'm given things to do too. I really just have to do it. And then you can say, I have to do it. I have to come see X number of my customers per year. It's your turn. And I'm being graded on that. So that's often very, very helpful. So good luck with your in-person visits. Again, if you'd like my direct help, I'd love to work with you. strategicreceivables.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.